Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment of Sold with Updike Pugh, episode 229. I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh. Today we thought we would talk a little bit about why real estate is still considered the best long-term investment.
So what's number one?
Well, let's jump right in there. Potential for appreciation. And this is something that if you've been in the Dallas market in the last, 5 years, but especially in the last 24 months, you know a lot about right now. It has appreciated so much faster that there were times when people were saying that the amount of money that they could make on selling their house was equivalent or greater than an entire year's income. And that is a lot of money.
It is. And you know, I feel like I've lived here since the 80s, and I feel like our cost of home ownership and rent we were so spoiled for so long.
Yep.
And, you know, our city became a much more mature city, let's say from 2000 to 2005. And then, you know, the economy tanked 2007 to 2012. We saw what happened there. But man, we hit 2012 and it was like, it's not only making up for that, the 12% things went down during the recession, but it just took off like a rocket to even itself out with every other market out there.
And I feel like we have so many buyers from other states that are coming here and headquarters that are relocating their clients or their home offices that it has really changed the landscape, both good and bad. I think the toughest thing that we see is traffic. I think that's something that we're all kind of getting used to. One of the other reasons that real estate is such a strong asset is because it can create rental income. And this is a really great way to create a passive form of income, especially if you're moving into that retirement age. Buying today is a really great thing to do, especially in 30 years when someone's paid your mortgage off.
I never have anybody that I've ever talked to that has said, "Oh my God, I wish I had sold that 30 years ago." It's always the other way of, "Oh God, why didn't I hold on to that another 5 years?"
So I do want to add that I think that there are a lot of videos, influencers, or whatever they are that make it sound like rental income is so simple and that it's just 1, 2, 3, and you pull equity out of your house and you just fly in and you make an offer and it's just done, wham, bam, and you're just set for life. It is not like that.
It is not. There needs to be some thought into it. You need to have a plan. You need to know what. Number one, if you're financing, you need to know where's the down payment coming from, because on investment property, it is a higher down payment.
Right.
And you also need to know that you can qualify for that, because if you don't have history of rental income, the mortgage company is not going to give you credit for potential rental income on that property.
So it can be done, but I would
Absolutely.
say that it needs to be done with realistic expectations and professional guidance. Two huge things.
And the next thing is the diversification that this can give you across your portfolios. You know, let's say that you are into the bond market, you are into the stock market, or you're into, buying air rights, or you're buying water, or whatever it is. Real estate is a really good way to diversify and stabilize your investments. Stock market's very volatile.
Correct.
We know that the price of oil is very volatile. Real estate does not have the volatility of many of that. And while all of those are really good investments over time, real estate is one of those that's going to many times give you a better return over the course of 30 years than practically any of the other.
And if you're like some of our clients who are extremely handy, real estate is a great way for you to take and combine both your hobbies and your pastime and knowledge into an asset, because I don't think that anything that you would do with your Apple stock would make it worth more. But when we have clients that redo the bathrooms, that make the roof brand new, these are elements that actually do add value. And so it is a really good way for you to control that diversification as well.
And it has the tax advantages, which is our next point. The tax advantages on this are probably not what they were 20 years ago, but they are still really good. It is an investment that is treated much like a small company for you, because you do get to take your income and subtract away what your expenses were for operating that property, and then the money that you make at the end of the year is taxed on a little bit different scale than everything else. But the cool thing is you've got somebody that's renting that property and is eventually going to pay that off for you.
That is what I love about the rental properties that we have. I think that's great. And the last thing I want to talk about is the inflation hedge. And this is a really, I think when you and I were kind of fleshing out this concept that we were talking about today, one of the things is I said, well, it's kind of like fixed income and you're stuck. And you're like, well, let's not use the word stuck. So it's more like there's a fixed. So you are buying at today's prices, and then your rent or your expenses or your income go up, and therefore you don't have as much of expenses.
Yeah, the largest portion of your expenses in your household is going to be, if you pay cash for it, it's going to be that initial investment, or it's going to be your monthly payment on whatever type of mortgage you have. And as long as you're on a fixed rate mortgage,
Right.
then that portion of the component is always going to stay the same for whatever the term of your mortgage, the 15 or the 30 years. Your property taxes potentially go up some, your insurance costs potentially go up some, your maintenance costs go up some. But at the end of the day, that largest chunk of that, which is your principal and interest, is always going to be the same for the term of your mortgage.
And you know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about the fact that the equity that you build up inside of the house can allow you to withdraw that and use that as a down payment on the next property.
That is correct.
So there are ways for you to link these together and make a lot of strong decisions to diversify your portfolio.
So we hope you found that helpful. If there's any other information you want about this topic, or if there's any other topics that you'd like us to cover, please reach out. We'll be happy to make that happen.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.